Welcome to Bear Essentials with Bear Buyers. This is a weekly program called Don't Be That Guy. Problem with Randoms in Division 2, Episode 2. Remember last week we did one where a guy answered a call to help me out on Potomac Event Center and then proceeded to basically hide the entire time, not shooting at anyone, not doing much. And we did that video to kind of point out if you've ever had that done. And a few of you guys told me some stories that made that look like a cakewalk. So this week we want to talk about a subject on not so much the gameplay, because the gameplay was actually fine. Now, I went back and after looking at some of the video I cut that day, the episode that I had, the guy in question went down, but to me, he didn't strike me as a player that was abnormally bad or anything like that. It was his actions a day later after playing with me that if he just would have talked to me or had a mic or sent me a question in a text, I would have clearly answered. So this episode of Don't Be That Guy has more to do with the toxicity and the lack of knowledge or the way the game changes. I know Massive changes a lot of things, and I can even understand and respect why somebody was expecting something more from the experience than they did. So what it was we were running a number of heroics to get dailies done and to farm the loot. Specifically, we were looking for named gear and gear for a clanmate of mine. His name is Booze. So we were trying to help get Booze some of the items that he needed. So as we did, we generated a call to have two people help us and run through there. And here's some of the footage of it. And it seems non-eventful. You know, we're all running. Now you can see there's a guy here that went down a little bit. And then later down here, he's kind of ahead of everybody. He goes down right here. I go ahead and do my sniper thing from here at the back and take the threats down. There's two other people, my teammate and the other random, that come in, and one of them lifts him up as I finish off the rest of the guys. Now, maybe he thought this was a bad scenario or whatever. But again, we ran through this pretty uneventful. Not much issues, wouldn't have even been on a blip on my radar. But today when I got done playing, I had a message in my tab, and here's what the message said. Now I know it's taken off a phone and digitized, so it's let me read it to you a little bit easier. How do you run aces? Basically what he's doing is the whole entire time I didn't prompt the aces and give him a big bonus. Not once did we receive a single buff from you. And you have nearly 2,000 hours. He says that I'm garbage, mate. Now during the whole time, you can ask my clanmate that was there the whole time, he never made a complaint. He never asked me about aces. Hey, has aces changed? Nothing. So obviously he felt pretty upset that 20 hours later that he'd write me this and be so upset that he didn't prompt aces. Now my question is, why do you go in a random game expecting any random person to give you any kind of benefit other than just somebody to play with? If you're expecting their build to help your build out in a totally random game, you're playing the wrong game. You need to get some friends that you can have them build a build that works with you. Second of all, I understand that Aces has changed a lot. When Aces first came out, it was very squishy. It was completely locked behind the raid. You had to do the raid to get enough pieces. You had to get all 6 pieces and run all 6 pieces of Aces. I know because I ran that back this time last year when we were doing the Dark Hours raid. And here you can see how that raid exists. It says right here, it gives the buff to the whole team. And this is from a build that I used to run back in. This is actually a TU7, which was a little bit better because you didn't have to run a full Aces build. You could run 4 pieces and get the full benefit. And during this time, what you would do is you would run the SVD or something that you could pop off a lot of quick shots, and you would pump it up. And when Aces prompt, when you got that Aces and 8s, you would be able to give your whole team the next 5 shots would be double damage, 100% bonus armor. So it would take their 5 million DPS and make it 10. So Aces was a very good team build. Like I said, in TU7, it made it viable that a lot more people played it. Before that, it was very hard to play because you had to be the person that was taking one for the team. It was your actions that made the team better. You didn't get to be the big DPS guy, nothing like that. Now I'm going to freeze one of the sets here, and you can see that it buffs the team. So that's how Aces used to be. But in TU8, when the Warlords of New York came out, that changed. A lot of us that play this game know that when TU8 came out, that Aces quit being the team build. There was other builds that Massive wanted to be the team synergy around, and Aces wasn't one of them. For one, Aces made the raid so much better because with all the things involved, when you prompted the Aces and you made those big hitting builds, double damage, they were one-shotting Razorback, they were one-shotting team, one-shotting Boomer, and because of this, Massive has made changes to make you take the raid in bigger chunks, to be more a team build than 1 or 2 people that just can do it all and just wreck the raid. So I presume that's why they did what they did. So here's the changes. Here's a picture of how it is now, or how it was in TU8. And again, my whole point of this video is when you're that guy that is upset of what your teammates are doing, especially random teammates, you should have a mic and be able to communicate. That solves a lot of issues. You can talk to any counselor, be it religious or marital counselor. The key to most problems is communication. If he would have just asked me, I would have clearly explained. I've ran Aces from the beginning, and I wish Aces did run that way. I liked it when I helped the team more. Now it's a big heavy hitter, but it's a very selfish heavy hitter. It doesn't help the team at all. It's only there to put those big shots, big headshots on the NPCs out there, or player versus player if he can get it, if they want to stand there and stand still. Now here's a different stat of how I usually play Aces, and you can see that I get a lot of headshot kills because that's what I am. I'm a headhunter. I put those guys down. I'm shooting from the back. Gives the team, everybody in front of me, that 15% extra headshot. When they get headshot shots, they get that extra 15% bonus. That's what sharpshooter does. So it does help the team, just like out of cover damage is given to the team when you have somebody with demolitionist. So lately, before TU10, I was running an Aces build hybrid, and I was running the Sawyer knee pads that changed in TU8 that gave Sawyer knee pads, gave the person, if they just stayed still and didn't move, like you see most of these shots here, I'm staying in the same place. So the Sawyer knee pads after 10 seconds has max damage at 3% per second up to 10 seconds. So 10 seconds you're getting 30% extra weapon damage. Now there are some masks in there that you don't have the other abilities that you would normally have because you're running that exotic. There may be other exotics you'd use that people think that's better, but I was running, before TU10, I was running Perfect Focus, which had made me live in the scope anyway, so it wasn't very good running around the screen while you're looking at a scope. So being stationary was just right up my kind of gameplay, so I could put those big numbers and put big players down with that 1 or 2 shots. So I could have explained that to this player, that again, my recollection of when we played a game together, I had no issues with this guy. Didn't seem to have any complaints from him. We got our heroic done. We went on our way. He left at the end of the mission. Nothing was said about it. So my question and my statement to all the rest of you is communicate with the people you're playing with. This is a communicable game, and when you're jumping in other players, everybody has their own style. You can go right, you can go left, but if you're not coordinating that and not communicating it, there's some miscommunications. And because Massive has made a game that they evolve, and a lot of the stuff changes from day to day, week to week, month to month, some people that have taken a month or 2 off, or 3 months or 4 months off, and come back to the game think something works the way it does, and it doesn't. There's no big warning. It says, hey, you're going to play with an Aces guy and it don't work the way it used to work. It doesn't do that. So to not look completely ignorant of the new changes, just communicate with the people that you play with, and you'll find out they're not bad, and they're not a tool, and they don't know how to play the game. And in this case, this young man or older person or whoever he was kind of made himself look bad in a way, because he's making a big issue out of something that he expected to be there that just isn't there anymore. Me running Aces wasn't going to give him a buff. I didn't do that. I didn't make the changes. You talk to Massive about those changes. The game is the way the game is now because of all the other stuff they've done. So to this person that sent me this fairly not nice thing, told me I can't play, don't know how to play my own set. Well, I almost have approaching 40,000 headshot kills. I'm pretty good with the sniper, and it's what I play a lot of times, and I've been known by a lot of people to play Aces, and to have somebody tell me that I don't know how to play it, especially when they're clearly mistaken, could have saved them a lot of time if they just would have asked, and I would have shared it with them, because I'm here to help other players. I'm not here to have some toxic player take their frustrations out on me because I didn't give them their satisfaction. I'm not here trying to ruin somebody else's game. So my plea with each and every one of you is don't be that guy. So the sad thing is there's a lot of people that I played with that want this to be a weekly series. And the sad thing is, I hope this is the last episode, because I hope we all play together and support one another and make the game the great game that it can be. So my words of warning, don't be that guy. Don't be the lazy guy. Learn how to play, learn how to communicate. If you have a question or you don't like something, the way something's going down, communicate it with it. And if the person disagrees with them, hey, you have free will. There's a lot of other players out there I know would love to play with you, and have a person to communicate and work with and run the missions with. So if somebody don't rub you the right way, don't make a big fuss about it. Find somebody that does. And especially if you go off and start telling somebody that they're wrong on the game when the mistake is on you, that's probably pretty embarrassing. So again, don't be that guy. This is Bear Essentials. I'm Bear Byers, and I hope you have a blessed day.